Shanti?
Shanti.
All right. A question I've been asking myself over the last couple of days is, on your page, with all the things that you tend to share, something just like stood out. You've put out some music, and I'd like to know a bit more about it. I'd like to know what's that music about, and why did you share that? What's all that coming from?
But you never asked me these questions about any of the things on my page, though.
That is true. That is true. But I guess on your page, there's an element of expecting to see the things that you post. So, because they are related to what I know you do. So, for instance, the training, the yoga, the, holistic living and all those things that inspire you, those quotes and things like that. Yeah, so that's something that I'm used to see and that I guess I'm expecting to see. So all of a sudden there's this tune, this music, and I'm intrigued.
Well, the music is part of holistic living as well, holistic liberty. You know what I mean? We talk about passions, creating. That is what we deal with. You know what I mean? Because it makes you feel a certain way. But yeah, I know where you're trying to go. Why I share the music? Why should we? That's my music. You know what I mean? A lot of people out there have come to know me for those things that you said that I do. But you really and truly, music was my first love. Music is my first love.
Over yoga?
Man, fuck yoga.
So you must be really passionate about music then.
Yo, music is the love. You know what I mean? Yoga is different. Yoga is different. I say fuck yoga, but people know what I mean when I say fuck yoga. Fuck yoga, how they package the shit, but I'm not here for that. But music was it. Music was it. And so yeah, I shared a track. I shared Namaste. Really and truly, it's a track that I did right before I left the States.
So how long ago was that?
I don't know, maybe 13. Look, I really need to get this time frame right. I always be skipping around. I never know if I've been here for 10 years, 11 years, but I thought I came in here 2008, but
that would be 13 years.
With 13 years. But then maybe I was here 2010. I don't know. So it's I don't know, could be 11 or 13 years ago.
Okay, regardless, a substantial amount of time.
Yeah, over a decade plus.
Yeah. And so, what happened between then and now? I'm just wondering, why the release? Why sharing now, and not earlier?
And not earlier. Sure, it's it's transitions. It's really transitions. I was so much was going on. I've always been into music. When I say into music, it's been it's not just me at home writing my little raps to myself and just singing them in the mirror. That really was a path. I wanted to be in the music industry. You know what I mean? Path that I wanted to go on to. And that was from a young age, really and truly. We have the things that our parents try to gear us towards or whatever case, steer us towards. But, as far as things that I was passionate about, it was always music. You have heads that I came up playing basketball, I was into sports, I was into these things. Me, it was music, so I was in the studio.
So I hear you talk about a path. So that's not light, it's not just love for music, there's a lot more to it.
Yeah.
So that's in your experience, that's where you're coming from. Your passion for music drove you to consider music as a career path.
Yeah, you know what? It was I think from the age of 12 or 13. 12 or 13, being around, we had our different cliques. We had a different clique. So like, it probably started off just like maybe at a house party or something, like probably 12 or so. No, I'm lying. Okay, so we're gonna go back to how did that start, right?
All right, yeah, let's.
So thinking coming up in school, I was always in advanced English and like advanced math, or you call it honors, right? You know, because those are two things that I really loved, you know what I mean? As far as the subjects in school. So probably around like 6th grade. When I got to 6th grade, I was in the English honors class, and then we used to study a lot of poetry. And we always had to learn the poem or learn the piece of writing, and then we had to recite it. We had to recite it in front of the class. So that would always be like a regular homework, you know. So there was so many times that I get to the class that day, and I didn't do the homework, you know. So
I guess you would already display a certain element of rebelliousness at such a young age.
Yo, I was busy. I had a lot of things going on when I was 12. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm also thinking like all of that was like also like some kind of like steps into like the public speaking, public eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were comfortable with that from a young age.
Yeah, 100. It was so my last name Udoye, right? So it's with a U. So majority of people know, you know, in school everything was alphabetical order. You know, how you sit, where you sat, you know, when you're called up for your work, for your presentation. So I'm all the way towards the end, right? So it was I would get there and people would be scrambling. Oh, I didn't learn this, because we had to learn whatever it was. Like we had to memorize it and be able to say it up there, you know, with however we express. You know, everybody expresses differently, you know what I mean? So I would get there, and since I knew that, I had at least a good 25 other students before me, since I'm all the way at the end.
Reciting the same thing?
Sometimes it was the same poem that we had to recite. Sometimes the teachers just gave us a selection of a few poems that we had to choose from. So people would scramble and they would try to learn it. Those people that didn't do the homework, they would try to learn it before the teacher called them to go up.
Okay.
So one day I just tried to learn it, and I just went through it, the lines, and I think I just read over the lines like, I don't know, it was a handful of times, maybe 10 to 15 times, and I just started learning it real quick. And by the time the teacher called me and she got to my name, I went up there and I just did it. It was just flowing, and I expressed it. You basically thought that I knew that shit, like that I learned it, you know, days ago, not just on the spot. So
what was it like? Did it particularly inspire you, or is it how your mind works in terms of like learning lyrics? You don't know. I
have no idea. I just I gravitated to it, and I like that. You know, I like that. Like, I think as well. At that same time, I was in drama class, and I like drama. I like acting. I like performing. You know, so I was coming to know different things about myself. That is that now that I'm talking about it, I can see how all those different things came into to help what I do now. You know what I mean? So I don't know where I was going with it, but yeah.
It was about you know, those lyrics. Like, did something particular in those lyrics resonate in you or not?
You know, I liked I always liked English. I like to write. I always enjoyed creative writing. You know, we had these subjects in school, like I think creative writing, and like sometimes the teacher the teacher would start something off, start a line off, and then you had to write about it or go home and write like 3 more paragraphs or 4 more paragraphs. Oh, for instance, start the line. If I had $1 million, I would ... The teacher would do that, and then that was our homework. We would go home and have to write about it, And you know, and I guess it was then that really showed me like the whole knack for creativity and imagination, because you would have some people that come back, they would have to read their stuff in front of the class, because we always had to read it in front of the class, and some people shit was just dry. It was just like, oh, great. Yeah, you know, me and my dad went to, and it was just whack. Me, I love to be out there. I love to be out there, you know what I mean? I was disruptive. I was very, even as a young age, I was always intelligent, you know what I mean? I was always intelligent, but if you don't keep me like
entertained,
interested in what's going on, then I'm gonna entertain myself, and that's gonna be me being disruptive, or me skipping school, or doing whatever the hell I need to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, like those heads that would go up there, some people shit was just dry. You know what I mean? I'm not saying this shit's dry, because you know whatever, they didn't have a knack for it, whatever. But like me, I was like, you know, shoot, okay. I wanted mine to like always either like stand out or capture, or, you know, bring across some type of emotion to the class, whether like I was going in or I was trying to make the class laugh or whatever it was. And I just like to write. Just like to write. So that was from an earlier age, and then we're going into what led into me getting into English honors later on, and still doing these things and learning these poetries and poems and stuff like that.
So I guess this homework, they weren't really seen as a homework, really. They were actually enlightening you.
Yeah.
They were an opportunity, or a way, a catalyst into prompting something in you that I guess you didn't come back from. That was something that stimulated you.
It was definitely something that stimulated. I come from a very militant, scholarly, you know what I mean, academia background, you know what I mean. No, strict parents, you know. Pops was a psycho, you know. Some people know he's an intelligent psycho, you know.
So that was in a way like an escapism.
So yeah, that's, you know, I'm just going through it in my head, but yeah, it was a level of escapism. So since we're already doing things like this, we're already like religiously like studying, having a lot of study periods, you know, like we'd have to do reports on different things. This is like my pops, like, you know what I mean? So now coming into school and us in creative writing or studying poetry, it was more interesting than the crap that I was dealing with at home and different homeworks and stuff that my father would tell me to study and different things. So yeah, I took a liking to that. And not to even make this so long, because I feel like it's getting long. From there, it's like from earlier on, from about like 4th, 5th grade, I started listening to 4th, 5th grade. It could be even earlier. It could be even 3rd grade. My older brother used to have, he listened to a lot of music. So the music that I would listen to, my introduction to hip hop was really from what my older brother had. Do you know what I mean? Mm. So he was coming up on whatever NWA, Ice Cube, you know, stuff like that. I remember, you know, maybe Cypress Hill and stuff. So what did I tell you that for?
Well, I guess you were trying to link, the creativity as a like outlet.
Okay, the creativity as an outlet, but then letting you know that that music was something that was already like I was very interested in. I loved music like so much, you know. I come from a household that plays music all the time, you know what I mean? That we really appreciate music on both sides, whether my mother or my father. You know, I have a very eclectic taste in my music, so I could go from deep midnight roots reggae to Phil Collins to Nirvana to Red Hot Chili Peppers to whatever, The Doors and Depeche Mode, like Lana Del Rey. So, but then we could go into Fela Kuti, you know, Youssou N'Dour, you know what I mean? So it's really for my pops that I got exposed to all that. Do you know what I mean? And I still listen to majority of these things, if not and more. Mm-hmm. Now, So now, like with that love of music already there, and me dealing with poetry and dealing with writing and stuff like that, I was like, I got to a point where now I'm like, a lot of words are just coming to me, just coming to me, like just coming to me. I'm constantly just thinking of words, thinking of lines and different things. And what I started to do was I liked writing down the lyrics of hip hop songs. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's how you do it back in the day. There was no Google and like, oh, here's the lyrics. So no, you like something, and what you do on my Walkman, I would listen to it, I would rewind, then I would write down the line.
Yeah.
Then after that, play. Rewind, write down the line, and then press play. So imagine how long that would take, you know. And I remember doing stuff like that to like Bone Thugs and Harmony. Bone Thugs and Harmony, first of the month. And you know how fast, if you're familiar with Bone, for those people that are familiar with Bone raps fast as shit. So imagine back in the day having your Walkman and you having to rewind, write what they say down or what you think they say, because a lot of times and you don't know, right? So it was like majority of people didn't know what the hell was Bone was saying. So I was trying to decipher that. But like the more that I listened to it, I started to get, you know, the rhythms, the cadences, you know, the pockets and stuff like that. And next thing you know, it was like when we go to like house parties, like different things came on, I would know it off rip.
Right.
So I would be rapping it.
It's interesting. You just said an interesting word. You said something about, I would try to decipher. So I think you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah. Well, yeah, my artist name is CiFA SKRPX. You know, so you probably in the Namaste track, yeah, you probably saw that. So yeah, CiFA SKRPX. I've been known as Cypher for, I don't know, since probably the age of maybe 14, 15, truly. So a lot of that is around, and people that we would run with knew me as that. So I don't need to go into the meaning of the name. You know, something needs to be myself. But for those that know, you know about your cipher. Those that know, you know about your scripts. You know, so I ain't gonna give you no more than that about that. But yeah, it was rap. So I would go into these house parties, and like when the tune came on, like first of the month, for instance, I knew first of the month by heart, like probably about 2 months after it came out. So you talk about these fast ass lyricists, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I knew it, so it was like, oh shit. So a lot of the times when I started to memorize different things by writing it down, I didn't even need to like listen to it, because it wasn't like music wasn't accessible like it is now. It's not like walking home from school. I just always had the luxury of a Walkman. Like, you know, sometimes I wasn't allowed to take things to school. So it's like you go long periods without music.
Yeah.
It's not like you like, oh, let me just tap into this and look at YouTube. Like no. So a lot of the stuff that I wrote down, like walking home from school or being on the bus or whatever the case, I would just rap it to myself. So I'll be rapping Bones lyrics, you know what I mean? You know.
So you're relying on your mind, on what you remember,
right,
of the tune and how it hit you.
Yeah.
I guess.
You know. So from there, I started to write my own stuff. You know what I mean? Started to write my own stuff, and then like me and some of my people, like, you know, when we go to the house parties, we would just catch a little freestyle thing, you know, which we were horrible back then, but we got into it. And long story short, we got going. We started taking things seriously. You know, I had a group back in high school. I had a group, you know, it's called X Corps, and it was like, yo, we were like a baby Wu-Tang. There was like, I don't know. It started just like two of us, me and another dude at the time, Hubert. And then we grew to like, I don't know, there was 15, 20 of us, 10th grade, 11th grade, walking around with gold shirts on that had our logo on it, and they had our name on the back. You know, it was like, it was deep. It was a following. We would go to talent shows, knock at the talent shows. Yo, we was going in.
You were serious about your passions already then.
Yeah.
Like you were seeing things through in a way that looks like that's what an adult would do, or that's what, like, you know, a grown up would do.
You know, I understand why I was serious with it, because it was I had a traumatic like upbringing, you know what I mean, and things in the household was, you know, crazy, you know what I mean. So I needed something in my corner that I could do, you know, to make me feel a certain way. I wasn't like the rest of the children growing up, like I wasn't really allowed to be going outside and shit like that. You know what I mean? Not like that. It was just like school, home, school, home. It was like, you know, like me going outside, it wasn't a regular thing. Yes, I would go outside, but it wasn't a regular thing. Like the majority of the time when the youth from around the way, you know, came, or from the complex came and knocked on my door, if my pops was home, he'd be like, no, he's not in. And you would get the grilling from my pops. Who are you? Where does he know you from? What type of grades do you make in school? You know what I'm saying? What do your parents do for a living? It was like that. So I guess people would stay away from knocking on my door.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Okay. So you created a world for yourself, a solace for yourself, where you could express yourself freely.
Yeah.
Create freely, and not having anything like hovering over you and impairing what it is you were trying to experience.
100, yeah. You know, people had diaries. People have diaries. I had my music, you know.
Right.
You know, the scripts that I wrote, you know, that was my diary, you know what I mean? Any and all of my stuff that you listen to, you know, you're gonna hear messages, you're gonna hear tales of my childhood, whether it doesn't even matter if it's from all the way back then or not, like, you know, it's there. It's there. So just speeding along, got out of high school, things didn't stop. I kept on going, got to the point that I had management, I was performing in clubs in Miami, you know what I mean, and different spaces and different places and stuff like that. You know, I put out probably like underground in the streets at that time, you know, maybe about 4 albums. 4 albums in the streets. That was us in the streets, me and my manager, and like, you know, a handful of people, like maybe 4 or 5 people that was a part of our street team, and we would sell the mixtapes. At that time, we would sell the mix CDs from the trunk, go around the flea market, and, you know, charge people, you know, $5. Oh yeah, here's my music, all original. Well, not all original music, was a combination.
So you're talking about albums, so not just tunes, just albums.
Nah. I was in the studio. I was in real studios. Like it wasn't just like, yeah, just off in there. Yeah, my brethren, you know, has a studio set up in his bathroom. Like, no, I was in studios. I would take my money. I always worked. That's one thing. I always hustled. So from the age of like 13, I was working. I've never stopped working since. I was that type of person that was in school. While I was in school, I had 2 jobs, went to night school. There was a time that I was 17, 18, and I had 3 jobs. Do you know what I mean? So I always worked. So it wasn't like I had to, oh, hey, mom, could you help me with the studio? Like, no, I had my own money.
So you were very proactive
100.
From a young age, and also it seems like having all these like jobs that you took on the side meant you weren't dependent on anyone to achieve the things that you believed in.
True. Yeah.
And I guess like in terms of like, you know, you just said something about 4 albums, then like I guess like, you know, you went on a musical journey, creating music journey. Like how many tunes, how much do you have? How do you think?
Yo, if you talk about, I'm just telling you about that, about like, you say albums, like mixtapes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I see if I put them all, but they're gonna hear them anyway. I probably have, I know for instance, I know I have the Rebel. I have Rebel, that's the first one. And then I got Rebel Squared. Then I got was after that, Rebel Squared. Then Dirty Laundry. Then was after Dirty Laundry. Then Tales from the Scripts. No, after Dirty Laundry is Dirty Laundry AD. Dirty Laundry AD. Then from Dirty Laundry AD I go into Tales from the Scripts. But from there is where Tales from the Scripts, I didn't release that one. Because it was transition. I was going through transition. It was like consciousness stuff was coming in. I didn't really know how to. That's a.
So, okay, with all these tunes that have been created, you have chosen to share one in particular called Namaste. Why? Why that one?
Well, Namaste. We're gonna get into Namaste. I think we're gonna have just a separate talk just on Namaste. I'm gonna just talk about the journey on here. But just to answer that question while we're here, Namaste was the last track. That was the last track that I recorded before I left the States. So why I shared Namaste? Namaste is when I felt I figured it out. What did I figure out? Because I was trying to. So I left music for a while. Why no one has heard about me doing music ever since I've been here? Because I left that. I knew I was coming to a whole new country. And I needed to focus on things that are gonna bring in the finances, really and truly. So it's a different skill set. That I needed to dig into, right? I couldn't just come over here and just jump right into the studio. How am I going to be jumping into the studios if I'm not making any money?
I guess there's also the reality of new country, new life.
New country, this is new,
new everything.
Country, when I say new country, some people don't understand that. It's one thing to go from state to state or already be living in some place and you just move a little bit, but I moved coast. I moved on continents. I came from Miami to UK, so there's a whole different shift, and I had to focus on bringing the finances in, really. So I had to dig into my bag and pull out my skill set, because I didn't want to do what I was doing back over there. The training and the yoga, it was there when I was back in the States, but I was in the earlier stages of it, and I wasn't that wasn't the only thing that I was doing. I was in the elevator construction from then, really and truly, for I was in construction for 10, 11 years or so. But yeah, I knew that coming over here, I didn't want to jump back into elevator construction. Even though I went to school for that, so I'm very passionate about that as well. I love building, as y'all can see that, all of this is just my creativeness, right? Me being a creator, building, starting something, dealing with something from nothing and creating something out of it. The same thing I do when I'm dealing with people. People come to me a particular way and then I build them up and then help them get to where they need to go. Same thing. I like to start from nothing. That's how I do.
Like music, really.
It's music.
You start from a spark, from something.
And you create that.
And it's from that spark that then you can create more lyrics and more content.
Yeah. So yeah. Now we here. I'm constantly in a place where, say I'm going through initiations, right? I'm going through initiations, with the work that I do, there's constant self-evaluation. We're always, how do you feel? Are you being true to yourself? Are you dealing with more of your passions or not? Do you know what I mean? Levels of authenticity, exploring how you are, dealing with shadow, all these type of things. And the more that I helped people find their way, I started to see I've never stopped writing, for instance. So even if I haven't been in the studio, that doesn't mean that, I'm not writing. I've always wrote. Even it may not have been as frequent as before, but I still wrote, so I never stopped writing. Do you know what I mean? But I just felt like when I was sitting down, I'm just examining, I'm over here. I'm still over here in this country, in this unknown place. It's still unknown. I still feel like a tourist, even though I've been here for a decade plus. Still feel like a tourist. I'm not settling in. I don't feel like I fit in, and I'm not trying to fit in at the same time. So I just started examining different things, and I was like, damn, since I've been over here, it's just been work. I just see it as like just a floating plantation. It's just been nothing but work. And I started to see like, damn, even your passions, is work now. You know what I mean? So that's a gift and a curse within itself. So I really had to start looking at like, yo, but the fuck? It's like there's just a level of emptiness. And I was like, damn.
So the emptiness, are you saying that the emptiness like affected your creativity in terms of desiring?
Me feeling empty here, you know, reflecting on it within whatever the last 2 years or whatever or so. It's been about 3 years that I've been saying like, yeah, I'm gonna get back. Yeah, I'm gonna get back. You know, so it took a while to get the things going again because I didn't know how to reintroduce myself. I was like, no, it's gonna hurt me. You know what I mean? You know, because people have come to know me as this. You know, and now it doesn't make sense me putting this out. But I've had to grow in self. I had to become confident in self. You know, and now I'm at a place where I don't give a flying fuck what people think. You know what I mean? You know, I'm not pigeonholed to just be what you think I should be. You know, I know how the music makes me feel, and I know that I've been feeling empty since I haven't been doing it. So, you know, I'm more secure than I was before. I'm not here sitting on tons of money and stuff like that. No, by no means. But I know the things that I know what makes me happy, and creating music made me happy. So what is life? What is life? And what is living this life if you cannot be happy? You know what I mean? So I had to stop. I had to take that time in, take a step back from guiding people to their happiness and dealing with my happiness. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Very, very powerful what you just said. You know, yes, dealing with your own happiness. Yes, of course, it's crucial.
I say. So now we're here, and that's not to say that when I got over here, I just said, yo, you know what, I'm creating a whole different identity. You know, no. When I got over here at first, I did try to continue doing music, but yeah, I felt on a few hardships. Like people didn't want to fuck with me. Like, you know, it was very much like, oh nah, you're an American artist, you're from America, we don't want to really help as well. You know, we need to push someone from here first. It was, I ran into that a lot. I say a lot, majority of the time, you know, or it's just weird stuff. Like, I think I went to a studio like when I first got here, maybe like twice, and like something happened and like the dude didn't want to deal with me anymore, and he was like, no, I got to focus on the artist over here. But I'm like, so if you got to focus on the artist over there, then why tell me that you're okay to record? I think that he got threatened. I think he got threatened, and he wasn't cool with working with this new guy that just came from the States that's probably more talented than the person that he's working with. That's just what it is. But so I had that one time, and then someone else I recorded with, and then they just disappeared with my stuff. You know what I mean? It wasn't a whole bunch of stuff I recorded, probably like 2-3 tracks. They just disappeared, and I was like, okay. So after that, it was just off putting. I was just like, okay, let me just try to learn the lay of the land, and like I can't focus on that yet. You know?
Yeah.
And it was hard. Like even Namaste, the track, but it was hard. Like bringing in who I was becoming with what I loved at the same time, because like my music always had a message in there. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't, I wasn't just rapping for the sake of rapping. There was always a message in there, but yeah, it was coded. It's in there. It's in there.
It's woven in.
It's woven in the lyrics. You know, and the different tales from different things that happened to me, experiences. Whether it happened to me directly, or it's what I witnessed, or it's me telling a particular story that I know of. You know, it always came from a place of that. Where was I going with that?
I guess like the link between, the transition.
Yeah.
From the States to here with the tune. So
yeah, I was already like uneasy because I didn't know how to how to merge in this new information, this new person that I was becoming, with this level of consciousness with the music that I was creating. So same way that I was evolving in myself as a being, I wanted my music to evolve with it as well. So it didn't make sense for me, not that I ever did music that was slackness, but I wanted my music to evolve as well, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. I get it. I hear you.
You know.
All right. Well, thank you so much for opening up and sharing a very important aspect of your life, and I'm really glad that this aspect of you is being shared, coming into light, because I feel it's a shame to have all this talent tucked away. So even though it's been a while, you know, there's a say, it's never too late. Now is the time for you, and it's the time that you've chosen to release. And give thanks for that.
Oh, yeah, 100. Thanks. Before I click off, just letting you all know what I'm doing moving forward, as far as you know, yeah, you could definitely, I'll put links under here. So what I'm gonna do, yeah, I have a back catalog. My back catalog is deep. There's loads of shit. You know, keep in mind that the stuff that I'm sharing, you know, it's stuff that was recorded 13, 14 years ago and longer. So yeah, that's what it is. So I am gonna put everything up there, because it doesn't make sense me just holding on to these things, you know, and the people that have the mixtapes from the back in the day hold on to them. But right now they're just in my computer. So I just don't want them just in my computer. So I'm gonna upload them all. I'm gonna upload them all to my music page. My music page that I really haven't messed with in years, that same time. But I'm gonna upload it all there. So if you're a music head, you like music, you like hip hop, you like these type of things, you can definitely go on there and check it out. And check it out. It might be something you like, might be something you don't. You might not like none of them. I really don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Check it out. Check it out. That's you getting to know a different aspect of me. But I'll keep everything available there. And then every now and then, what I'm gonna do, we're about to do something else that we're gonna just talk about, the track Namaste. Every now and then I'll drop a track on my Rebel Yogi channel. But this is gonna be the journey. This is gonna be the journey, little by little, towards new music. I did book some studio time. So on Tuesday, I think 2 Tuesdays from now, I'll be in the studio laying down some stuff. So yeah, you're not just gonna be just listening to old shit that Smai-Tawi did. New stuff is coming. You know, do I care about getting out there and getting signed? I don't give a shit about none of that. Like, I just put the music out there. I just like to create music and listen to music all the time. You know, despite what people think, I'm not just fucking meditating all day, and I never like to meditate like that anyway. You know, but yeah, this is what it is. Feel me?
Feel me.
All right.